right, let's jump into it. Thanks for that beautiful introduction. I am excited to be here with you all tonight. Don and I have been good friends. He's been a good family friend for a long time. You know, when we started in this business, it really started with my father, Gene Guarino. He was known as the godfather of residential assisted living. And when he passed in 2021, it was one of those moments where we did have to get together and decide, are we going to keep this moving forward? Or are we just going to stop and quit and just have our homes and cash flow and chill out for the rest of our lives? But we remembered the mission and we wanted to continue that mission to do good and do well and positively impact people all across the country by helping others open residential assisted living homes. So I have been busy the last 10 years working on all of these different companies, but today we are here to talk about Residential Assisted Living Academy, where we teach and train you how to own and operate these care homes just like we do ourselves. So let's jump into it. I went rapid fire on the summit over the weekend, just a little 5 minutes. So I'm going to go a little slower today. So hopefully you guys can catch what I'm putting down. But if you have any questions, drop them in the Q&A area. Why is right now the best timing for senior housing? It does not feel like good timing for a whole lot of things. We were talking, before this presentation about how, people think or someone is going to come save them, right? But the reality is it's not. The economy's maybe not going to get much better, right? Inflation and interest rates and all this crazy stuff. Now is your time to take advantage of the opportunity. The silver tsunami of seniors is coming. And this is your chance to get involved right now. Timing has never been better. 1950 versus, 2050 or 2060, that 85 plus demographic, it is the fastest growing demographic on planet Earth today. They are coming and we cannot stop it. Currently, the silent generation lives in assisted living with about 47 million of them. But the baby boomers, that's who's just now barely coming into the market. 76 million baby boomers coming into the market. And we're currently 1.3 million beds short. You guys, there is a huge opportunity here, but what we're talking about with residential assisted living is disrupting the senior housing industry, saying no more are big box facilities, those big commercial, facilities, the only option for seniors. Kind of like what Airbnb did to, hotels, or what Uber did to taxi. There's something new, there's something different, and you're going to like it a whole lot better. That's what we're doing with residential assisted living. So what's going to change this year? We can drive ourselves crazy asking this question politically, economically, socially, spiritually, in your own life. What's going to change? That's a whole lot to worry about. So I like to focus on the opposite end of the spectrum. What's not going to change? Because no matter what the economy looks like, raise your hand if you're getting older and know someone who is. Okay, we're all aging and we can't stop it no matter how hard we try, right? So this is something that's inevitable. And I want to bet on something that is going to happen no matter what the economy looks like. If you lose your job tomorrow, it doesn't really matter. Your mom or dad still needs care and assistance at some point, or your grandparent, whoever it may be. People are worried right now. They're worried about paying their bills and losing control. They're worried about their crippling buying power, the dollar being less and less powerful. They're worried about future opportunities. They're saying, if I'm dealing with this, what are my kids going to be left with? Yikes. They're worried about not making a difference. Some of you, you just attended Protect Wealth Academy. So I'm assuming you have some wealth to protect somewhere. If maybe it's not even about making more money or becoming, cash flowing like crazy. Maybe it's about making a mark, making a difference, making an impact, having your money not just be money in, money out, but money that you feel good about. A lot of people are worried about their own loved ones. We got into this industry and our journey began with a phone call. The doctor called and said, your grandma just fell and broke her hip. She's here at the hospital and she's not allowed to go home alone. Who's going to come take care of her? Who's going to come pick her up and take care of her? Boom. In that moment, we had three choices, and you'll always have these three choices, right? One, who's going to quit their job and take care of grandma full time? Two, are we going to get in-home care where a caregiver comes to live with my grandmother one-on-one so she can stay in her own home? It's insanely expensive. I'll run down the numbers with you, but that's an option. Or three, do we put her into a home? And as soon as you say it, it's just that like gut punch. It's like I promised I wouldn't. I said I'd never. But that's the exact scenario we found ourselves in with my own grandmother, Marie. She was grandmother to 40 of us grandkids, mother to 7. She cared for her husband, her own mother, until their last days, and she deserved the best of the best. We searched and searched for a place that was suitable for her, you guys. Every facility we walked into smelled worse than the next. The care was terrible. The food was bad. They were expensive and they had waiting lists. I didn't want to leave my goldfish, let alone my grandmother, in any of these facilities. It was just, nope, not happening. We knew that there needed to be something better. She was in upstate New York and we were in Arizona at the time. So my dad had been a real estate investor for 30 years up until that point. He started looking around and saying there has to be another option. And we stumbled into residential assisted living. He ended up purchasing his first home, the real estate and the business. It was already up and running with the intent to move my grandmother in because he did quick math and said, wait. It's going to cost me $5,000 a month to put her into a home, or I can own and operate it. She can live for free and I can cash flow 10 grand a month. It makes a whole lot more sense to be the owner operator. So that's how we got involved. But, he always used to say, I guarantee you're going to get involved in senior housing one way or the other. The reality is either you're going to be lying in the bed or writing the check for someone who is, or you could be owning and operating the real estate, cash flowing, and having a place for your loved ones if and when they ever need assistance. Today, I want to share with you the 5 keys to success in residential assisted living, as well as how to become a preferred real estate provider for those of you who are more passive here on the line tonight. Who am I and why should you listen to me? I'm the COO of Residential Assisted Living Academy. I was named top senior housing influencer. I was named future leader by Senior Housing News. I built 8 companies over the last 10 years, and I'm a 2 times Amazon best-selling author. I love helping people learn how to open their business. This is like the most fun thing in the world to me. And I really feel I was trained by the best of the best. My dad was featured in TV shows, newspapers, podcasts, books, all sorts of stuff on this topic, all about residential assisted living. But what meant the most to me was when Robert Kiyosaki pointed at him from across the room and said, "Hey, that's the assisted living guy." And he ran over to my dad and he said, "Gene, tell me everything. My wife, Kim, she wants to get involved and start investing in this. And I don't know where to start, but you're the go-to guy." They became fast friends there on the Real Estate Guys radio show cruise, met up again at the New Orleans Investment Conference, and Robert would come to our convention every year. His wife, Kim, is coming this year, and I'm so excited because, as you guys know, they are all about getting out of the rat race, using real estate to cash flow so that you can be more passive, you can be more hands off. Now, they have invested over $100 million in a big box facility down the road from me in Scottsdale, Arizona. Now, you do not have to invest $100 million, okay? That's them. That's how they like to play. Tonight is about you. How much do you need every single month to cover your monthly personal expenses? I mean, think about it for real. Like the house, the car, the kids, the food, the fun, all in. If you had a check coming in every single month with this dollar amount written on it, you could take that woo-saw breath, right? Spend time with who you want, donate to what you want, live where you want, buy what you want, do what you want. Okay, got that number? Now you're dreaming. Most people I share and on this topic with, when I ask them this question, they respond to me that their number is right around $10,000 a month. If your number is more than this, if it's 2 times this or 3 times this, that is a-okay, because just one residential assisted living home can get you to that freedom number. So if you need 2 times, we're talking 2 properties, that is it. If you need 3 times, 3 properties, not hundreds of doors, not thousands of units. And I'm going to break down the math for you, but I want you to start thinking about why. Why residential assisted living? Well, maybe you're starting to see that this is where the demographics are going. It's a 20-year wave starting right now, and you want a business that doesn't just work today. You want something that's going to work in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. Maybe you're starting to realize the inevitability of it all, that you're going to get involved, but right now you have a choice as to how you get involved. We all make decisions based on pain or pleasure. I don't want you to make a decision on pain like we had to with my grandmother. If we would have known, we would have gotten in so much sooner and had all of this mapped out. She passed before we could get her into our home, and that broke our hearts. We carry on and have our homes in honor of her, but I want you to be able to know exactly where your loved ones go, where you're going to go. And that's that piece that I want to offer. We're not the only ones getting involved in assisted living. Meg the Stallion went back to Texas Southern University to learn how to open an assisted living facility. Why is a rapper getting involved in senior housing? You tell me. Tyler Perry launched a TV show called Assisted Living. He's bringing it to mainstream media. He's curating that conversation that's going to be happening in the normal American household because he understands the silver tsunami is coming. Jimmy Buffett, he opened Margaritaville themed retirement communities before he passed. Now, I'm not even the biggest fan, but heck yes, I want to go live in paradise and sing Jimmy Buffett and sip margaritas until my last day. That sounds like a lot of fun. Sign me up. When we talk about the different options for single family home investing, obviously you can do a fix and flip. You buy a home, you renovate it, you sell it, right? You make that money one time. This isn't cash flow, it's cash now. Because as soon as you sell it, you're out of the job. You've got to go get another one and do it again, and another one and do it again. And that sure looks like the rat race to me. So it could be good money, but what happens when you get left holding all the homes and the market crashes or something goes wrong? Not a good situation to be in. Rental homes, this is cash flow, but at a couple $100 a month, it's not going to get you to your freedom number as quickly as you're probably wanting. And each door comes with tenants, toilets, potentially unpaid rent, and drama. The floor, the roof, the AC goes out, and there's your profit for a year or two. Yikes. Group homes. Some of you have a heart for those who have clean, sober recovery needs, developmentally disabled adults, battered women, foster kids who've aged out of the system, whatever your category that your heart calls to is. If that is what your heart is calling you to do, I highly encourage you to go that route. Not only can you serve a population that desperately needs you, but you could be cash flowing $1,000 a month or more on just one of those homes. Airbnbs. Okay, if you follow us on social, you probably think I hate Airbnbs because I'm always teasing about Airbnb owners. I don't hate them. I stay in them all the time. I just don't think that they're a good investment strategy. You've got companies like Marriott coming in, buying up entire neighborhoods, turning them into Airbnbs. And when a client goes to stay there, they get their Marriott Bonvoy perks. And you better believe they have more money, power, and resources than the solopreneur like you or I. Now, there's also cities like Atlanta, Scottsdale, Honolulu, Nashville, practically shutting down Airbnb owners, making it almost impossible for them to be successful. If I had one single family home that I had to decide what to do with it, to me, it makes a whole lot of sense to go the residential assisted living route, cash flowing 10K a month. But Proverbs says, he who doesn't look ahead remains behind. And if you're not religious, Wayne Gretzky says, I like to skate where the puck is going, not where it has been. This is going to be one of the biggest crises that our world, our country, your city, your family ever faces, or one of the biggest opportunities of our lifetime. I want to break down some numbers for you guys. I shared how some people may want to offer in-home, one-on-one care in the home, where you get a home health aide who comes to, serve your senior in their home. The average rates today are $33 an hour. So if somebody needs 24/7 care, 30 days a month times $33 an hour, that's $23,000 a month. Plus the mortgage or lease, the activities, the food, the cable, you name it. We're talking 25 to 28K to keep your loved one at home every month. Most Americans cannot afford that. And so you might be thinking, whoa, 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 I don't need 24/7 coverage. I just need coverage while I go to work. And, somebody I'll take nights and weekends just while I'm at work. Still going to run you 5 or 6 grand plus, plus, plus. And now you just gave up your nights and weekends. Say goodbye to the soccer game, the ballet practice, the PTO, book club, wine club, church, golf, you name it, adios. Because if a senior needs care, they need it now. It's not, oh, mom, jump in the car. We're going to, Johnny's baseball game. It's painful for her to get out of bed, let alone get out of bed, get in the car, drive for 20 minutes, walk to the bleachers, sit for 2 hours. It's not happening. The average cost of care in our country today to live in an assisted living home or facility, $5,350 per month per resident. But what is residential assisted living? Simply, it is a group home for seniors that provides assistance with the residents' ADLs, activities of daily living. Pretty much think everything you do from the moment you get up out of bed to the moment you go to bed at night. Getting out of bed, transferring, right? Toileting, right? Showering, eating, bathing, brushing your hair, brushing your teeth, taking medication. All those different things are what seniors need help with. Typically 3 to 5 ADLs by the time they're moving in. They are not moving in for funsies, okay? They're moving in because it's no longer safe for them to live at home alone. We are not talking about a Brookdale, a Sunrise, an Atrium, a large commercial facility with long hallways and impersonal staff where they refer to your loved one as their room number. That is not what we're doing at all. We're also not doing the opposite end of the spectrum for mature women who live in a home who need minor help with landscaping or changing a light bulb. Golden Girl style could be a fun investment, but that's more independent living. We're focused on residential homes with seniors who need assistance, assisted living. They're typically single level homes, but you can do it with multiple levels. You have to add in a chairlift, add in an elevator. These are upscale homes in nice parts of town. They're beautiful homes with lots of bedrooms and bathrooms. Think 300 to 500 square feet per resident. So with 10 residents, minimum 3,000 square feet, upwards of 5,000 would be very comfortable. Inside the homes, the floors are smooth and clean. The furniture is age appropriate. It's not IKEA. You've got to put a lot of weight on it and make sure it doesn't slip out under the senior. Okay. In the bedrooms, the beds, dressers, nightstands, tables, just like you or I may have in our own homes, the bathroom has ramps, guardrails, handrails, things to keep the senior safe. Does not need to be ADA compliant, but you want it as close to that as possible. And who's living in the home? None other than our adorable seniors just living out their golden years. And I love this photo because you can see the caregivers sitting and enjoying the celebration with the seniors. You see, in a big box facility, I don't know how much you guys know about this or how many of you have loved ones in a large facility or have done any research. The typical ratio is 30 seniors to 1 caregiver. And that's if everybody shows up on their shift. I often hear stories about 60 to 1, 50 to 1, even more than that sometimes. If that was kids, it would be illegal. Our country does not care about our seniors the way it does about other people, and that's not okay. In our homes, we recommend a 4 to 1 or 5 to 1 ratio. In that circumstance, we can take a caregiver from an experience where they're getting paid the same, right? Their job description is the same, but they get to actually do the job they signed up to do. They get to actually love on the seniors and be there with them and learn about them, care about them, and have that quality experience that they signed up for this job for a reason. They could go work at Chick-fil-A or In-N-Out and get paid practically the same. They do this because they love seniors. And when the system is set up to fail them, that's when abuse and neglect and all these different things happen. Seniors being double diapered, getting UTIs, being left alone for hours. It's not okay. I digress, but I love this photo because you'll never see a scene like this at a Brookdale or a Sunrise, ever. Our seniors, we celebrate everything. They have a little petting, these are all some of our students' photos. We got a little petting zoo going on. I love it. Celebrating Valentine's Day with this little granny over here. We've got Easter, we've got Mardi Gras, we've got, Thanksgiving, Halloween, you name it, we go hard because these seniors deserve the best of the best in their last years of life. Our company motto is to do good and do well because there are so many ways that you guys can make income. This isn't the only one. Surprise, right? You can make money a million different ways, but this is one that you actually feel good about the money you're making. It's that do good and do well, not just one or the other. In every other form of real estate I've ever been in, I've never received a check for 6 grand wrapped in a love letter. And I don't know about you guys, but none of my landlord friends have done that either, right? Until RAL. Now we're getting, thank you for loving my mom. Thank you for providing for my dad. We couldn't be more grateful with a big fat check inside. That's got to make you feel good, right? But what do you really want? Do you want to feel good about your investments and be proud of the work that you do? Do you want to have enough income to live the life that you've dreamed of? Stop settling and working overtime for not enough pay. Or maybe it's about leaving a legacy for your family. Maybe the story of my dad passing me 3 cash flowing businesses that I could put my own mother in, I could live in, my son could inherit one day. That's exciting to you. It's that legacy, it's that asset that keeps going on and on and on. The facts and statistics are there's 76 million baby boomers and 10,000 people turning 65 every single day. 4,000 people turn 85 every day, and 90% of seniors want to stay in their own homes. But 70% are going to need daily care for an average of 3.5 years. That's typically how long they're staying in your home. My crystal ball says that they are going to need housing and assistance. And I'm not the only one who sees the writing on the wall. New York Times bestselling author Harry S. Dent wrote in The Demographic Cliff, the opportunity of our lifetimes in real estate development and investing is likely to be in nursing homes and assisted living facilities. I want you to hear from him himself.
Yeah, so what Jane's in charge of is this organization called Residential Assisted Living. In your opinion, is that the best real estate play to be in?
It is, because I always tell people, because the baby boom was so large, everything they do as they age is the best sector. People say millennials, there's more millennials. Well, they're not as big a wave. They're a fraction of the wave. So what assisted living and nursing homes do, they play the last stage of the baby boomers, the largest generation in history, and nobody sees it coming. Nobody.
No, we do.
You do. Nobody sees. I bring this up and people say, Harry, what are you smoking? The baby boomers already retired. They're already in assisted living. No, they're just starting.
Yeah.
In
Oh, yeah.
2018.
Oh, yeah.
They got 26, 28 years of nonstop growth. Nothing will grow faster and nobody will see it coming.
Pretty cool to hear them sitting around talking about that. You've got Harry S. Dent, Robert Kiyosaki, my father, the late Gene Guarino. You may recognize the next guy from those Dos Equis commercials back in the day, Jonathan Goldsmith. And on the far right-hand side, we've got Brad Upton there. He is a super funny comedian who does clean comedy on Comedy Central. This is at one of our past RAL national conventions, but I thought that was pretty cool to share with you guys tonight. Right about now, I'm sure some myths and misconceptions are popping up in your mind. Like, yeah, this sounds great, but do I have to work in the home? And the answer is no. I do not work in my homes, and I do not show you how to work in yours. I show you how to work on, not in the business, by hiring the licensed appropriate staff to do that day-to-day work. Your key player is a licensed administrator or manager. We use those words interchangeably, and they're hiring your licensed caregivers who are doing all of the day-to-day care and overseeing of the residents. This team allows you to be hands-off. What we show you in our training is how to get down to 5 hours a week of work on this. Now, listen, I am not saying this is completely passive and you don't have to do any work. That's not what I'm saying. But imagine like this. We're on a big football field. There's a huge merry-go-round. 200 people are sitting on this merry-go-round, and you have to make it spin. You push as hard as you can. And you're pushing and pushing and pushing, and it's not budging. And you keep pushing in that momentum and all of your strength. And eventually it starts to give you an inch. Now you have momentum. You keep pushing and pushing in all of your might. And all of a sudden you get a turn and you get a turn and you get a turn. And you are running now with this thing. You're running, running, running. You can step out. If you completely step out and never touch the merry-go-round again, it will eventually stop. But if every couple minutes you stick your hand in and go whoop, 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 and keep it going, then it will continue on as long as you keep sticking your hand in there. When I tell people that this can be a passive investment for them, that's what I want you to think about. It's not that you never touch the merry-go-round again. It's that you give it that little push every so often. Hard work in the beginning, easier at the end. Never easy, easier. Okay. Liability. Is it going to be through the roof? Nope. It's about $2 to $3 per day per resident. It's a line item. With 10 residents in the home, we're talking $900 a month. Definitely something you want, definitely something you need. In our training, after you graduate, we give you a bunch of different documents and information to help you move forward. And some of them are connections to liability insurance agents so that you can get that taken care of. They work with our students all the time, so they know how to get you set up. You can't find good employees. This is fighting words. There's this whole reputation that caregivers, there's such high turnover and nobody stays and they're so terrible and this, that, and the other. We just talked about caregivers and you heard me say how they're set up for failure. To me, this isn't about finding better employees. It's about being a better employer. In the Great Resignation a couple years back, when surveyed, 70% of people said they did not leave their job for more money. They left because they did not feel appreciated. Ouch. Why would you want to work somewhere where nobody appreciates you? Nobody says thank you, and you're doing backbreaking work? I wouldn't. I don't think you would either. I don't blame them for wanting to leave. It's time for us to step up as employers and be better for the people who work for us. Treat them with respect. Say thank you. Be kind. Pay them fairly. Treat them kindly. They're the face of your business. If you're not going to be the face, they are. So to me, it's all about reversing it. Instead of saying, why aren't they staying? Say, how can I instill loyalty in them? What can I do to be a better employer? And we focus on that a ton in our training because I think it's so important to change that mindset. Do you need medical background or medical experience? You do not, but if you are online tonight and you are a doctor or a nurse or a medical professional, you can use that as a feather in your cap when it comes to marketing your care home. You don't need it, but it's nice to have if you have it. And HOA won't let me do this. Not true. Because of the Federal Fair Housing Act, which is a federal law that trumps any city, state, angry neighbor, or HOA who tries to tell you no, these people are allowed there. And if you run into any issues, we created the RAL National Association that represents all 30,000 group homes across the country. So if you run into an issue, who are you going to call? Not Ghostbusters, RALNA. Okay, we've got a legal team there for you who can write you a nice letter, show up to meetings, do whatever you need to do to get that approval. They cannot beat this federal law. We are a protected class, and that's a beautiful thing. Seniors can't afford this, just not true. And I'm going to show you exactly how they can. At the end of the day, this is a single family home being used to cash flow more than almost every other single family investment opportunity that there is. So what are the 3 smartest options for you to participate in RAL? First, you could own the real estate and lease it to an operator. We call this being a preferred real estate provider. Now, this is basically you purchasing a home, renovating it, get it ready to go, get the license on the home, and lease it out to someone who's going to operate the business within your home. They're willing to pay you up to twice the fair market rent because you've done the hard work of getting the home ready to go. You've added ramps, guardrails, handrails, maybe more bedrooms and bathrooms, maybe fire suppression, maybe an elevator, whatever's needed to make this home ready and suitable for assisted living. And they're thankful for that because you just did a lot of the hard work. They're also a long-term, low-impact tenant. What I mean by that is this is not a single family signing a 1 or 2 year contract. This is a business trying to plant roots and establish a reputation and build a brand. They do not want to be kicked out of this location anytime soon. So they might be signing a longer contract with you, and that's a beautiful thing. Less turnover for you as a landlord. Low impact tenant, little or no maintenance. Well, there's no teenagers punching holes in the wall. There's no pit bulls being bred in the living room. No motorcycles being dissected in the dining room. My landlord's on here. No, that's not happening. Okay, little granny's chair goes back and forth one too many times and we patch up the little sheetrock, and that's really it. This home is being kept pristine and clean at all times because there's people touring through, and you have 24/7 awake staff. So your staff in the night who's awake, what do you think that they're doing? Oh yeah, they're cleaning, they're picking up. The home's being kept really nice. Number two, you could own the real estate and operate the business. This is what we do and what most of our students do. And in a moment, when I go through the numbers with you, this will be the category I'm referring to, category number two. Number three, some of you here tonight, you've got deep pockets and you're saying, I don't want to own the real estate and I don't want to operate the business, but I'm an accredited investor who would love to invest in someone who's doing this business. If that's you and that's something that's of interest to you, you could be a private lender or JV partner and work with someone and just get return on your capital. And they're putting your capital to work, getting this home up and running. That's a beautiful way to get involved as well. So how much money can you make? Show me the money, honey, right? Well, first, we have people from all over the country on tonight. So we've got to ask, how much does assisted living cost? I shared with you the national average of $5,350 per month, but this website, you can screenshot it, jot it down, whatever you want with this one, genworth.com/cost of care. When you go here, you can type in the little area where you live and it will pop up how much the average cost of care in your area is. The reason why I love this site is there's a little toggle button. So you can bump it up or down, meaning my mom's not going to need care for another 25 years. So I can bump it up 25 years and see how much care is expected to increase, or it's not decreasing. Joke's on us, right? It's gone up 87% over the last 20 years. And it's only going to keep going up, you guys. We have a bed shortage. So, economies of scale. But I'm going to show you the top 10 most expensive states, and they pretty much match cost of living. DC is at the tippy top, $9,563 per month per person on average. Average rates include our friends on government funding, as well as our friends on private pay. Hawaii, the rate's $9,340. Maine next, Vermont, Delaware, New Jersey, Alaska, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, and Maryland rounding out our top 10 at $6,900. All 50 states are listed there. You can take a quick screenshot of this one if you want to, so you can look at it later, especially if you're on a phone and you don't want to be moving away from this. So check that out. And even more than your state, check out your actual city or county or parish or wherever you are and see what that looks like, because there are variances within the states. So Dawn and Kendall, they're out in Utah. So let's break down Utah. Utah state average is $4,150. It's on the lower end. That's okay. St. George's, oh, I messed this up because 5,300 is more. Well, Salt Lake's at the tippy top. Sorry, I messed up my math, but Salt Lake, 5,300 there at the tippy top. St. George is next, Provo, Ogden, and then Logan at the bottom, 3,863. This does not mean if you love mom, you move her to Salt Lake. And if mom didn't love you, you move her to Logan. Okay. No, if you are from Provo, mom or dad is probably coming to Provo because you are the adult child who many times makes those decisions on where mom or dad is going, right? So it's important for you to understand the differences. If you had one RAL home providing you an additional $10,000 a month, would you be more confident and secure knowing you could pay your bills easily and stay in control financially? Would you be more comfortable knowing that you could provide a home for your own loved ones if and when they ever needed assistance? Or would you be more fulfilled knowing that you're actually making a difference in this world, leaving a mark and making an impact in your community and your family? If this is ticking your boxes, then stick with me for this next section because we're going to break down the numbers. How can one RAL home get you to that financially free number, that 10K a month? If average rates in our country are 5,350, I'm going to round it up to 5,500 because that's very close. And for easy math, it will make it nice and easy. Times that by 10 residents. Depending on where you are in the country, you're going to be allowed to have somewhere between 6 and 16 residents in the home. Every state has a maximum limitation, and then within your state, there may be county or city limitations that are less, but never more than what the state allows. That would be bringing us in $55,000 every single month of monthly gross income. But today, I'm trying to whip through this as fast as I can for you guys. So I'm not going to break down every single expense. If you move forward and take our online home study course, we go through these line by line. But for the sake of today, I want us to focus on the two numbers at bottom, 25,000 versus 35,000. 25,000 is if you plan to be the candlestick maker, the cook, and the baker. You're going to live in the home, you're going to work in the home, you're going to wipe the seniors' bums, you're going to make the, food, you're going to do the laundry, you're going to do everything yourself. Not what we do, not what I want you to do, okay? I want you to hire the licensed people who are going to do that work so you can work on, not in your business. So we need to be able to pay them. So that 35,000 lets us afford the appropriate staff to work in this home. Bake that in right there, and then debt service. Can we get a pretty nice home in most parts of the country for $10,000 a month? I'd say yeah. That's leaving us with $10,000 of monthly net income or $120,000 of annual net income on one average RAL home. But I got to tell you guys, it is Thursday night, and I don't know where you are. It might be 9 p.m. where you are, or 8 or 7 or 6 or whatever time it is. If you're in Hawaii, I don't know, it's 3. You don't seem like an average person, because you are here investing in yourself even more than the 3 days you just spent at Protect Wealth Academy. I don't think that you're average at all. And when I visited average homes to put my grandmother, I told you I didn't want to leave my goldfish, let alone my grandmother there. I would never go to an average home, and I don't think you would either. So let's show something nicer, someplace that you'd actually feel confident and comfortable to leave your own loved ones. Maybe it's charging $6,700 times those same 10 residents, bringing in $67,000 every single month. Your overhead stays the same because it's the same 10 residents. It's the debt service or rent that's going to increase or decrease. But this is a nicer home. Maybe it's on a bigger lot, more bedrooms, more bathrooms, whatever the case is, we're putting in $12,000 a month right there for your debt service. This leaves us with $20,000 of monthly net income or $240,000 of annual net income on one home. That's pretty exciting, guys. I was just chatting with our students, Scott and Michelle, out in Metairie, Louisiana. It's right outside of New Orleans. They're about to open their 4th home, and their homes, each of them, cash flow, $20K a month. In New Orleans. Yes, you heard me say that. Where the cost of living is not that high, you guys. This is possible all over this country. The only difference between Scott and Michelle and y'all is what's between your 2 ears, right? You believing and saying, yes, I can do this, and making it happen. Now, some of you live in areas where you can have 15 or 16 residents. Utah, Texas, New Jersey, Idaho, Illinois, Ohio, Alabama, just to name a few. Let's say you were to do a luxury 15-bed home charging $8,000 a month, like our student Brian was doing in New Jersey. That brought him in $120,000 a monthly gross income. Overhead here is higher because we don't have 10 residents, we have 15 residents. So I need to pay for more care, more food, more electricity, more cable, you name it, we've got to add it in. But then also, y'all, it's luxury. If they want lobster and cheesecake every night, they get it. If they want Hulu and Netflix, we're throwing in HBO too, baby. Whatever they want, they get, okay? This home is going to cost us a pretty penny because 15 bedrooms, 15 bathrooms, well, I'm putting down $20,000 a month right there for the debt service. And this still left him with $40,000 of monthly net income or $480K a year. Could you squeeze by on $40K a month? Could you make it work? I hope this is exciting for you guys. I hope this is starting to be like, whoa, I think I want to do this. I think I can do this. Because the thing is, I don't like to just show you how to do this once. I actually like to show you how to have a 3-pack. 3 homes within 20 to 40 minutes of each other. Because first, if you're going to do this, then why not really do it? But also, if you're going to do this, I want you to be able to share your economies of scale. You see, your caregivers, they're doing shift work. They're not live-in caregivers. They do shift work, 8, 10, or 12-hour shifts. If they're doing 12-hour shifts, it's kind of like a nurse. They're on or off 3 or 4 days. They're not off those other 3 or 4 days. If you don't have a second home, they're working for Joe Schmo down the road on those off days. But if you have multiple homes, they work 3 or 4 days for you here, 3 or 4 days for you here. You don't pay overtime and they get to stay in the same work culture and environment. It's a win-win for everyone. I want to share with you briefly this. There are 4 ways, because everyone always asks me this, like thinking that it's only number 2. There are 4 ways for you to get started. One of them is what I shared with you. We did with our first home. You can buy an existing business. There are 30,000 group homes across the country today. Might one of them be for sale? Oh yeah, baby. We show you how to do that, how to find them, and how to speak to the owner appropriately, because it is a sensitive conversation. So you can buy an existing one, get up and running, started right away. This could be one of your faster ways. It could be pricey because you're paying for the real estate and the business, but it could be quicker. 2 is buying a home and converting it to become. Now, if the home is 1,200 square feet and you're trying to have 16 residents, you've got your work cut out for you. Okay. You're probably adding 5 or 6,000 square feet to this home, and it's probably not a fit for that neighborhood anyways. So I would advise against it. But if the home is already 5 or 6,000 square feet and we're just, chopping it up differently, adding more bedrooms and bathrooms, just minor renovations, this could be faster. So it ranges maybe 6 to 12 months, depending on your conversion. Number 3, some people buy land and build custom from the ground up. A lot of our coaches do that and our students do that. And it's a beautiful way to have a perfectly suited home for RAL. I love it. Number 4, one of the fastest and cheapest ways to get started is to lease a home to use for this. Someone else purchased and rented the real estate and you're going to lease it from them. That could be a way to go about this. I know I'm running out of time, but I want to share with you guys the 5 keys to success and then give you a huge discount on our offering tonight. And then I'll stick around and answer questions for those of you who have any more. The first thing we've got to talk about is location. We can't talk about real estate without location, but when it comes to RAL, it's about density, demand, and demographics. This is not if you build it, they will come, right? You have to make sure that you've done that research, that internal feasibility study to determine that this demographic can bear, another facility or home coming into the market. When we talk about the 5 levels, these are not care homes, don't worry. But level 1 is like that sketchy place that you don't want to go at night, right? Like you're locking your doors at the red lights and you're, asking a friend to come with you and like, oh shoot, we drove down the wrong street. That's not where we want the care home. Okay. That is not a safe place for granny. Level 5 is like also a neighborhood that you may feel uncomfortable in because it's so high end. It's so luxurious, like manicured lawns and guarded gate. And they're like, who are you coming to see? And you even need permission to enter. That is probably not the right place either. We want to stay in that sweet spot, level 3, 4. Financially, that looks like this. If 5,350 is our average, anything charging less than that is a below average home. Makes sense. We want to be in the sweet spot, level 3, 4. Now, I know level 5 looks nice. 8 to 10K per person. Sign me up, baby. Okay, but look at the shape of the chart, y'all. It gets smaller at the top for a reason. There's less people who can afford that. And if they can afford that, might they also be able to afford the in-home one-on-one care? Maybe. We taught this to Donald and to Linda Kelly when they came to our training. We gave them the roadmap to success, the step-by-step plan, so that they could get their home up and running faster and easier. And they said, thank you to the RAL Academy. It's been amazing, the support we've received from you guys. We wouldn't have been able to make this journey without you. They opened a 12-bed memory care home out in Kansas City, and I just could not be more proud of them. Number 2 is your team. If you are not going to work in the business, then you have to build your team. You can't be it. You can't be the go-to guy and doing everything yourself. No more DIY, okay? You have to build it so you can repeat and scale. Mariella, my manager here, she oversees all 3 of my care homes. We have weekly meetings on Zoom or on the phone, and she runs down what's going through in the house. If I have questions, we dig deeper. If I don't, I'm basically getting my recap. Do you need me? Do you need this? Do you need that? Okay, great. Move on. She does the hiring, finding, firing, training, onboarding of the caregivers. If someone calls out, I don't hear about it. She does. She fills the staff, she fills it with another caregiver, the role, or she does it herself. I'm not even licensed to go do it. That's pretty cool. Okay. That's what I want to show you how to do. Jose and Lillian out in Texas, they said, best advice, find a mentor and save time. My wife and I became students of RALA, and we used their 10 years of experience to speed up our success. The opportunity is now. They have a gorgeous home out in San Antonio, and I love that. Number 3 is clients. The resident is not your client. So if you are marketing to the resident, that's the wrong way to market. So who really is your client then? If it's not the resident, it's daughter Judy, it's son Bob, it's the adult child who comes with mom or dad. They're the ones who get that call from the doctor. They're the ones who, discover that their loved one's memory is declining and their, dementia is increasing. And they're the ones who start touring, who, come to visit the homes, who make those decisions, who sign those contracts, who sign up to pay for this. You need to market to them, not the senior. The senior, 90% of them, we already learned, don't even want to come to your home. So if you market to them, you're wasting your dollars. And it's important for you to know that, because your messaging and where you're marketing changes vastly depending on who you're speaking to. Helen, in her home out in California, she said the RALA team helped us avoid getting into a really bad deal. And now I'm cash flowing $40K a month, all because I listened to them. Absolutely amazing. Her property is insane. Mitch and Jen, they said our vision is to open 100 luxury RAL homes and build a great reputation for RAL in our community. We're excited to be in the right place at the right time. They're on home number 26 out in Colorado. Absolutely mind-blowing, you guys. You can do this too. That is amazing. And one of the tools we gave them to help speed up that process was the profitability calculator. It's like a step-by-step tool where you can plug in numbers and play and see if a deal is good or bad, if you should stay with it or run away from it. And it really helps you make those decisions quicker, so you can be like Mitch and Jen and look at a deal and say yay or nay really speedily. Number 4 is getting paid. Do not focus on Medicaid, focus on your private pay residents and maximize LTC insurance. So we talked about how do seniors pay for this. Some will pay with Medicare, some will be subsidized by the VA. It's called aid and attendance. 10% of the population has long-term care insurance. If someone has that, it's a beautiful way to pay for their care needs. Most others will use their cash, their savings, their IRA, their investments, or they're going to sell their physical home and use that capital to pay for their care needs. But my last little category of seniors, oh, I took care of them. It's their turn to take care of me. We've all heard that. And if you have a loved one who you are their ticket, you are their plan, it's probably time for you to come up with a solution, because you don't want to be left having to make that decision overnight. You want to have answers and have a plan up front ready to go. Walt, when we met him, he was just a legend in the industry. He'd been in the business for over 15 years before we met him. And we said, Walt, you have to come to the training and tell us everything that we're leaving out. He didn't trust that his kids were going to take care of him in the way that he wanted. So he built his own custom 10-bed, 10-bath home. It was one of the coolest care homes I've ever been in. Floor to ceiling TV wall, like ESPN Zone. He had a poker room that you could smoke cigars in, and the air filtration would filter out so it didn't disrupt the rest of the house. I mean, it was insane. And he said, I learned how I was leaving over $15,000 a month on the table. That's over $2 million during those 15 years. I was sick to my stomach, but grateful to find out too. Thank you, Rala. The last key to success is systems. Systems will save you time, energy, and money. And the reality is, if you are type A like me, systems are critical for success. When it comes to systems, you have to have systems around team building. How are you going to identify, train, and retain the best of the best staff so that you don't have that high turnover, so that you have people who are coming in, staying loyal, and doing the job so you don't have to be in the day-to-day? We've got to have systems around that. The real estate, some of you are pros at this, location, acquisition, renovation, but what are those minor nuances in regard to RAL and what we're looking for in these specific types of properties? Funding. Some of you are saying, this sounds amazing, but how do I come up with the money for this? We've got your back. We show you 7 ways to fund your RAL, and my biggest advice to you is do not use your own money. There are so many people right now whose money is getting a whopping 0% sitting in the bank, and if you could offer them 12 or 15% back on their money, they would be more than happy to work with you. This has been one of the easiest things to raise capital for that we've seen from our students, from all of our coaches, even ourselves, which has been really cool to see. When someone says, I'm having so much trouble raising capital for this mall or this apartment complex, but not senior housing, because everyone sees the writing on the wall and everyone has a loved one. This hits the heart. Partners, if you are thinking, oh my goodness, I want to do this and there's someone in my life who would be the perfect partner for me on this, maybe this is an opportunity for you guys to do this together. A business where we've seen so many husbands and wives or mothers and sons. We've seen so many different, couplings come together, and it's been amazing having that all set up. Operations. Think of this as the documents you need within your home to get licensed. Policies and procedures, emergency plans, menus and schedules, all those different things that you're going to need to submit to the state so that they give you that stamp of approval and say, okay, awesome, go forward, you can do this. We need systems around that so you can duplicate it for each of your homes and not have to reinvent the wheel every single time. Ed out in New Jersey, he said, the tools, the people, the education, it's top notch. I could have not done it without Rolla. Scott and Michelle, I shared with you about their home earlier out in Louisiana. Scott said, we credit RAL Academy to our success every day. Can you do this on your own? Maybe, but why would you? Rolla has everything you need to do this quicker, saving you time and energy. I can go through success story after success story, but the real question is, will you be our next success story? You always have 3 options in life. I said it in the beginning and I'll repeat it now. You can have a Men in Black moment. Flash. Forget everything we talked about. Pretend you don't know the silver tsunami is coming and keep going about your life, doing what you do. And listen, when you need a bed, I'll always have a bed open for you, okay? You give me a call. 2, you can say, I don't need you. I'm going to YouTube University and I'm going to figure it out on my own. I wish you the best of luck, and I'll be here when you need me. 3, you could say, this is ticking my boxes, this matches my goals, and this makes sense, and I want to move forward. If that's you, I'm going to share with you an opportunity of how to do so, and then we'll jump into Q&A. We went through the 5 keys to success. We also went through the 3 smartest options to participate in RAL, and we talked about how you could do this more passively on just the real estate side, being a preferred real estate provider. We went through how you can make $10,000 a month, $20,000 a month, even $40,000 a month with one RAL home. If your minds aren't blown, here we go, right? I'm going to share with you about the online home study course that we offer. This is an incredible course. Because we're meeting virtually tonight, I thought I wanted to give you our virtual offering. This course is your business accelerator. We've got 11 sections and 46 modules. It is an in-depth training course that really helps you get what you need A to Z so that you can get your care home up and running. RAL 101 breaks down the opportunities, the blueprint, and this coming silver tsunami. In the next section, we go through the definitions, how to be that owner operator or private lender, how to scale your homes. In the RAL real estate section, we go through what to look for in bedrooms, bathrooms, kitchens, the best and worst properties, how to understand your local requirements, what you need for a renovation, a remodel, an addition, or a ground up custom build. In the location section, we're breaking down the best and the worst locations and the rating systems in your area so you know where, why, and how. RAL business, we go through the property, the documents, licensing, staffing, who's an independent contractor versus an employee, and then the appropriate timeline from start to finish. The funding, it's fun because it's funding, right? It is a fun section, I promise. Okay, we go through terms and definitions, capital stack, repositioning your assets, the 5 types of lenders, and then how to create that business plan. So when you get in front of investors, you're not mumbling, you know exactly what to do and exactly what to say. Cash flow sections next. We talk about the sources of income. We show you sample expenses and we break down case studies of our students. Some of you are considering purchasing an RAL, and so we have an entire section on that. The top 10 factors to consider, how to recast those financials, expand your business, and do that business valuation, and then the pros and cons of starting your own versus purchasing someone else's. Marketing is next. We show you how to name your home, what you need on your websites and your Facebook page, community and advertising involvement. Operations. This section I love because there are other people who teach and train on this topic, but almost all of them show you how to live in the home and work in the home, and that's not what we're doing. I show you how to build that team, how to take over a business when you're buying an existing or build one from scratch, and then all the systems you need around the operations. Last but not least, we've been in this business for over 10 years, you guys. We have a ton of affiliates for you that offer you major discounts on things that you're going to need in your own care home. Group purchasing power and discounts, and free access to the RAL National Association. This is a go at your own pace. When you sign up, you get lifetime access to this course. There are quizzes that check for comprehension along the way. You can go as fast or as slow as you want. Take it with your business partner, your spouse, whoever it may be, so you guys can be on the same page together. We continually update this course. I just refilmed it in January of this year, and I'm set to refilm it in January again every year. And once you sign up, we give you the new one. We give you the new one. So you're always getting the freshest information. There's also a Q&A section. So every morning I wake up and I log in, and if you've written a question, I'm answering it. So we're able to chat throughout your experience so that I can help make sure that you're going in the right direction. This course is incredible and the value is $2,497. But Dawn and Kendall and I were talking, and I'm so excited to be seeing them upcoming in October at our RAL National Convention. It is a once a year event. It's our annual event that we host and throw for all of the who's in the industry. And I want to add this in as a bundle for y'all tonight. This event is insane, you guys. It's happening October 3rd through the 5th at the Sheraton Grand Wild Horse Pass in Phoenix, Arizona. The resort is spectacular, but the people attending are even better. We're having amazing special guests like Ed Milet, Kim Kiyosaki, and Mark Victor Hansen, the author of Chicken Soup for the Soul. It is so much fun. There's 30 speakers, 70 plus vendors, and everyone who's attending is an owner operator or a wannabe owner operator who's getting into the business. It is literally the best event ever. We have a full awards ceremony. So if you open a home, you get to come up on stage and grab your award for opening the home. We have cocktail hours, banquet dinners, magicians, cigars and stars. I mean, it's a blast. Because Dawn and Kendall are going to be there, I wanted to bundle it up and have the home study course as well as 2 tickets to the RAL National Convention coming up in October. The value would be $990. So together, $3,487. But for all of you who are here tonight, I want to honor you guys because you guys have given me your biggest gift, which is time. You know, money, it comes and goes, you guys, but time, it only goes. And you just gave me a gift of over an hour of your time. And I just want to thank you for that. So today, 1497 for access to that online home study course, 2 tickets to the event. I hope you guys come because it's going to be so much fun. Kendall's going to put the link in the chat, but if you go to protectwealth.com/opportunity, I think you need to type in a www or something like that. So just click what he puts in the chat. You'll get that there. Before we jump into Q&A, I just want to give you one other little bonus. I mentioned that Donald and Talinda used the roadmap to success to help them speed up their start time, right? This roadmap really helped them. So I want to give this as a bonus to you for purchasing tonight. It's the step-by-step plan that helps you get your home up and running faster. So when you graduate the course, you're not like, what do I do now? No, it's there for you. It's laid out. Just follow the steps and you can get it done. The second bonus I want to give you is the profitability calculator. This is the tool that Mitch and Jen use to determine if deals were good or bad, if they should stay with them or run away from them. And I want you to have access to this so you can also have that speed to start. So the online home study course, 2 tickets to RAL NatCon, the profitability calculator, and the roadmap to success is yours tonight for $14.97. But I gotta ask, is $14.97 worth it if you have one home that cash flows you $10K a month for the rest of your life? Oh, heck yes. Is $14.97 worth it if you had one home where you could put your loved ones for free if they ever needed care and assistance? Or you could go if you ever needed care and assistance, leaving your children blessings, not burdens. I sure think so. You know, our mission is to positively impact 10 million people by providing high quality assisted living for seniors in a residential home environment. And I, urge you to join us on this mission. Whether you're going to open a care home or eventually place your loved one in one, I urge you to choose an RAL and not a big box, because this really is the new wave in this industry. And I want all of your seniors and loved ones to get quality care. So if you want to join us in doing good and doing well, head to protectwealth.com/opportunity. And thank you guys so much for having me on tonight. I really appreciated all of your time and attention. So thank you. I'm going to see if, there we go. I'm going to see if I can open the Q&A over here too.
Let's see if we can answer some questions. Does the caregiver live there? Oh, wait, I didn't start at the top. I live in Canada. Does it work in Canada? I don't know. Do you have old people in Canada? I think so.
Yeah. Well, I don't, if I'm saying your name right, Claver, we don't, we teach national standards in the US, but we have had a lot of Canadian students who come. Dawn's worked with some of them too. Things are a little different, but it's still very similar. So you can come and learn the concepts and apply them there. But we are teaching national standards. So, but we have had a lot of Canadians, whether they're investing in Canada or investing in the US, you can make it work either way.
Okay, you mentioned an investment conference in New Orleans. What conference is that?
The New Orleans Investment Conference, NOIC. It's usually in October. It's a great event. I don't know if they're still running it, but I went for like 5 years in a row and it was super fun. New Orleans Investment Conference.
Okay, and Melinda, I think you answered this after she asked the question. Does a caregiver live in the house?
I do not like living caregivers because if I have to fire you, you're now jobless and homeless, and I don't feel good about that. So I like shift work and I encourage you to do shift work, but this is your business. You can do whatever you want.
Which state or federal agencies regulate these homes? Who manages medications, medical needs?
So there is no federal agency, actually. It's usually the Department of Health Services that is through each individual state. And that's why the rules and the names and the regulations are all so different, because these are regulated by each individual state. The caregivers will do their medications. Typically in most states, they are licensed to be able to pass the pills. Occasionally, there's like 3 states, I think, and don't ask me which ones because I don't know, but I know there's like 2 or 3 states where you have to pay a nurse to come by. You're not paying a full salary. They literally swing by, pass the pills, give them to the seniors, and they go to the next home. This senior or this nurse will do it for like all the care homes in the area. So you're paying them like $30 for the day to come by and do it. It's not a big deal. Most of the time the caregivers do all of that.
Okay. Can you show me the ideal characteristic of the ideal caregiver home?
If you're saying the ideal RAL home, I would think what we're looking for is a lot of bedrooms and bathrooms. So with 10 residents, as many bedrooms and bathrooms as we can. We want open concept. We want them in nice neighborhoods where the demographics are typically 50 to 70-year-olds, upper middle class, making twice the median income, college grads, and that's a lot of good things to look for.
Yeah. Who's inside the home? Well, people who need assistance, right?
Yep, the seniors.
Okay. Is that one person per room? Well, how do you do that? That's an interesting question. There really is a good question, Gus.
Most seniors do prefer to have private bedroom, private bathroom, but it's okay to have options within your home because if somebody moves in and they agreed to pay $6,000 a month and the family thought they were going to live for 6 months, but it's been a year and a half, they're not just going to stop paying. They may come to you and say, hey, we're starting to run out of capital. Do you have any options? And if you do have a shared bedroom, maybe they can move from that private room to the shared room for 4,500 a month or whatever the case is. So it's okay to have options, but most people want private bedrooms, private bathrooms.
It's also an advantage when you have a three pack because you can have options in one house that you don't have in another, right?
Yes, it is good
Okay.
to have those options. Yep.
Doesn't it work for one parent in your home? Do you reside there? Not sure what you're saying, Lisa.
Lisa, if you want to clarify your question, we'll answer it again.
Okay. Will the program put us in contact with funding opportunities? I'm in San Diego. My sister-in-law is respite care provider. He's the main client, turning 16 next month. Would like to do an adult care home before her parents put her into an adult facility.
Um, so I think that this
Well,
is not senior housing, Jennifer, that you're talking about, but more like adults maybe with disability home. I'm not sure. I would need more info. If you're saying that they're 16 years old, then obviously that's not seniors. So it could be a little bit different. In the training, we do show you how to raise capital for this, whether that's with SBA, syndications, private money, bank money, all sorts of different loans. And they may be able to translate to what you're looking for, but it's also, it's going to depend on exactly what you're looking to raise capital for.
okay. We're next question is about what about a mentor? What if the home study program isn't enough? Can they get deeper training from you guys?
Yes, we do offer mentoring and coaching. We've got all sorts of stuff, but the first step is to always take that course so you have the ground knowledge. Because for some people, that is enough. They take that and they go get their care homes up and running. Like Sean out in Houston, he's on his third home and he just did the home study course. That was it, and that's great. Some people say, "Okay, I want more. I want to be able to call you and you help me look at these deals," and we do have that available for purchase after the training.
And it's also a really good for somebody that's somewhat kicking the tires and going, I'm not sure if this is really what I want. Let's not start with a mentor program. Let's start with a home study program. Watch the videos, walk inside, literally inside of the home. The camera it pans around, it shows you the residence, it shows you I get used to that feeling first, and it's a really good first step, I think.
Mhm.
Does the meal food, does that include it in the rents?
Yes, so that fee that they're paying to live in the home, it's room, board, it's 24/7 care. I mean, it's help with everything. They're doing their laundry, cooking, cleaning, everything. Yes.
Okay. Have you, have any of your students who signed up for the business but decided to close down? Were there any reasons for closing down after they set it up?
I'm trying to think if anyone has closed down because right now I can only think of about, this is 10 years of me scrolling through students in my mind. I'm thinking we've probably had, my guess would be about 6 students total now of like the thousands we've had who they've not shut down. They have sold their businesses
Right.
because that is what we really push for you to do. If you are, for whatever reason, wanting to get out of this, it's a divorce, it's a death, and you just are over it, whatever it is, come to us. We'll help you package it up and then somebody else will buy it from you. They may as well buy that hard work that you've done. And so that's a beautiful thing. So at least they get out with some cash in their hand.
Okay. I purchased a four-bedroom home, room for two beds in each room in California 3 years ago to start an RAL business, and I'm making loan payments. Should I create a trust or an LLC for protection, and how can I prevent the lender from calling the loan due? Okay, that's more of an asset protection question, I think. Is it okay if I kind of address that?
You take it. That's one's for you.
Okay. So generally what we teach is very much like Hilton sets up a hotel. We have one business that operates and takes care of people, and another business in real estate that owns the real estate. That real estate would probably be an LLC. The management company would probably be an LLC taxed as a corporation or a true corporation. But we're trying to take all the equity in the real estate and protect it from anything that might happen in the operation of the company. We're also trying to take as much money as we can where it's active in a business and move it down where it's passive in the real estate, and then write it off with depreciation, with repairs, with deductions, and if we structure this right, we might not pay taxes on any of that for a very long time because of depreciation and real estate losses, and you didn't lose money, but we're going to call it that. There's some really cool tax strategies. And in fact, Gina and I did a video on this, and that's on our YouTube channel, where we just tore apart how to do legal structures. So this is not a newbie for us. We're very, very good at legal structures for RAL homes. Anyway, that's sort of what we do. So I'd like to partner with my sister. Can she watch this webinar? Okay, this is being recorded tonight, and the link will be sent out to everyone who registered for this webinar. So absolutely, it'll be sent out tomorrow. Usually takes us a few hours to get it loaded, but probably tomorrow, at least by afternoon. And yes, your sister can watch it. Is security required? Surveillance cams, etc. What do you do with that?
It's not required, but we do highly suggest you have them interior and exterior, none in bedrooms, bathrooms. That's a HIPAA violation, but those cameras are for you and you only, not for daughter Judy, not for the caregivers, not for anyone else. They are for you only.
That's a really good. Okay, would you focus on holistic well-being and nutrition? Any additional services that would add value? That would make your home very unique, wouldn't it?
Yes, and people love that, especially if you think about the coming generation. They are going to want more options and more unique offerings within the home. So it's a great thing to do that. And you can definitely add, to your bottom line by saying we're doing farm to table. We have all organic, we have vegan and gluten-free options and this, that, and the other. That's amazing. People will love that.
That would set your home very much apart from maybe what else is in the industry right around you.
Yep.
I like that. Is this type of home require multiple types of insurance? Um, talk to me about insurance and talk to me about liability, would you?
Liability insurance, I know we mentioned that earlier, Rosalinda, that it was the $2 to $3 per person per day. It's a line item. You still have insurance on the real estate and you have professional liability insurance. So there are multiple insurances happening within this business, but you need to have them because at the end of the day, we do live in a litigious society. Knock on wood, 10 years, thousands of students, no one has been sued. And Don can attest to this, that it's actually happening a lot less, I think, than people think. Because if you are doing things right, then you guys, gravity works the same at that senior's personal home, at Walmart, and at our care home. Like, I can't help that. But the amount of eyes on them in our homes, it's so much less. It's so much less. And so that's a really beautiful thing.
And let me address that very candidly because it's probably 8 or 9 years. I've known Gene. I knew your dad for a long time, but he called me up about 8 or 9 years ago and says, "Hey, I'd like you to come down to Phoenix and talk to our people." And I went, "Oh my gosh, you're doing residential assisted living." And my mind goes nuts on, oh, okay, there's medicines and slips and falls and elderly people and employees. And I'm going, oh my gosh, this must be a nightmare. You know what? And the more I got into it, the more I found how wrong I was. I specialize in asset protection. It is not anything that I expected because the people are there. You're doing everything that you can do. The families know that grandma is getting older. They couldn't take care of her themselves, and so they're trusting you. And and yes, most likely they're going to die soon. And they accept that, and I think they're kind of grateful that you're taking care of them rather than you didn't feed her an oatmeal cookie when she wanted one. It is such a different atmosphere than what I expected. When Jean took me through the homes and I saw them and I walked through, it is so much different than I remember my grandma being in a nursing home that smelled like urine. And it is, this is a home that's a very nice home. It is, I can't tell you, I willingly said, yeah, yeah, I'm going to put all my support behind this because I believe in it. Anyway, any, you're better at this than I am. Sorry,
No, you're saying it perfect. I love it.
Gus. What happens if they don't pay you? Do we throw them out? Love that.
We do not throw them out. So the situation is, this is a great question, Gus. Listen, when somebody agrees to live in the home, it is not a tenant landlord agreement. It is a residency care plan. So they are agreeing that this is the services we are offering, and if you don't abide by our rules, it's no longer a fit. If they stop paying, that's part of that too. This would be equivalent to you dropping your child off at preschool and never coming to pick them up. They would call CPS, you would go and get arrested for child neglect. That is the exact same scenario. The daughter Judies are typically signing those documents and those forms, whether they're paying or not. Maybe it's long-term care, maybe it's this, maybe that. Check doesn't come in, and that becomes hey, it's late payment. Hey, it hasn't come. It's been X amount of days. We're not in communication with you. They literally get arrested for not paying. So it is not something that they mess around with. Also, like the people who are signing and agreeing to pay six, seven, $8,000 a month, they have the money. Like you don't sign up and agree to do that and not have the money. And you're like, good luck, grandma, and run away. Like you're going to vibe them out during that first meeting with them and see who these people are. And you have so much information on them, but they don't just drop grandma off and leave. It's illegal. You call the cops, they get arrested. It's very easy.
Yeah. Okay. Do terminally ill seniors live here or just relatively healthy ones? There comes a point where you can't take care of them sometimes, doesn't it?
Yes, I would say that 95% of the seniors pass in the home. It is end of life care. It's the end 3.5 years of life. But that other 5%, maybe they do need skilled nursing. So they move to a skilled nursing facility. It's typically a short stay, but high pay. Maybe 10, 12, $15,000 a month in one of those facilities. But that's because they need doctors, gurneys, IVs. They need medical attention that we cannot do. We're not licensed to be able to do in our homes.
Okay. I have a 5 bedroom, 3 bath with golf course view. I have the property. Can I make it senior living?
Potentially, we got to look at the demographic research, see if it's a good fit, find out how many residents you can have. So if you're going to need to do a renovation, and then we've got to find out all the licensing rules in that area, zoning and all that good stuff.
Okay. My father just moved in 89 in this home. I reside here. Can I make my home an RAL?
Same answer, potentially. It's going to depend on so many other factors, and you really need to go through. It's not just if you build it, they will come. You really need to make sure you do that research to decide that this area is going to work, that it's needed, that it makes sense there. But I'm not saying no, I'm just saying potentially.
Yeah, and can I comment on this? Because as I've talked to a lot of your students, the biggest mistake that I see is they come into your training with an idea in their mind. They've already got this property. Uh, well, maybe it's 3 stories, and well, I'm going to put it in an elevator, but it's really not designed for what you're doing. Well, you learn the business model and then find the home. We don't try to fit the business model into something that you've already predetermined. Well, I've got to add on, 3 bedrooms and convert the garage. And it might, sometimes it's easier just to find the right home for the business. Is that
Mhm.
fair to say?
Yes.
Rather than coming in with a predetermined idea. Okay.
Yep.
I have a property. If one interested, can I give my property? Can Wow, I didn't understand that one.
Possibly
Sorry.
if somebody, there might be a good person who's a fit at the national convention. Hopefully we'll see you there.
The more you get money, the more you pay taxes. Any idea of rolling in your mind to lower taxes? We are so good with RAL people. It's very possible you could be making money in the first 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 years and not be paying taxes because of real estate losses and depreciation and the repairs deductions. And there's so much. We're good at this. And so don't let, yeah, yes, don't be afraid of making money because I'm going to pay more taxes. That's a good thing. I like to pay lots of taxes because that means I'm making lots of money. Don't be afraid of that. There's always tax strategies. If you listen to Toby yesterday and Scott, oh my gosh, they are brilliant tax strategists. And we make money and then we'll figure out the taxes. How's that? For certain amenities like a pool or physical therapy, physical health, could this be appealing for senior home living?
Yes and no. We have a pool in our most high-end home in the backyard, and in 10, actually now that home's on 12 years. 12 years of owning that home. One grandson has used it on a 4th of July. So you can, potentially it could be used, but these seniors are not golden girls, guys. You got to get that out of your mind. They need help getting out of bed. They need help eating, toileting, bathing. They're not swimming laps. I would love if they were, but they're not.
It might look good, but would it get used? I don't know. I don't know.
Right.
Do any of your students allow pets for therapy or for personal companionship? What do you do with pets, Isabel?
Great question, Marja. We do not allow pets in our home unless they have gills and live in a tank, okay? Because it is a trip hazard. You got to think little wheelchairs and walkers going by and a little furry creature runs by. Now somebody trips. Also, if you can't wipe your own, I don't think you're picking up little Fido's doo-doo. So
Yeah.
who now is? My caregivers. And I'm not paying them to take care of animals. I'm paying them to take care of people. So we love pet therapy day, but we do not allow pets in the home. We have
Pet
all sorts of pets
therapy
in the
day.
home.
So you bring pets in.
Yeah, we've had bunnies, we've had dogs, we've had mini horses, kitty cats, all sorts of fun things. And if somebody has a dog, like usually it will go with their daughter Judy or son Bob, and then they can bring them in on pet therapy day too and have them sit in their lap.
What if ADU is on the place? What is that, Isabel?
An ADU, yeah. So an accessory dwelling unit. It's like a mini house that they put in the backyard, super popular in California right now.
Okay.
There's some advantages. You could have a caregiver go and live in it. Again, I don't love live in, but that could be an option. You could lease it out as a little unit that a family could stay in. If you have a family who your care home's in Chicago and the seniors in or the families in Phoenix, and now they're coming to visit grandma, they could rent it out for the night or stay there. It could be like a hotel stay for the family. Not really like a super pro to have it, but doesn't hurt to have it.
Now, my guess is your homestay is already answering all of these questions. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Go to that opportunity, protectwealth.com/opportunity. It's something we highly endorse. Remember, we stand behind any product sold on our stage, and this is one we highly endorse. Okay, what if they get into your home study program, they decide maybe it's not for them? Do they have a week or two to decide, or how does that work?
I think what it is right now, and sorry, I'm answering some of them too on
Okay.
chat. The home study course, when they buy that, if once they've completed that first section, RAL 101, that's their opportunity to say, it's not for me. And if that's what you do, you take that first step and it's not a good fit, let us know, we'll refund you and you can go forward. So
Can't ask for more than that.
get a
And
little
and
taste.
Kendall and I will be at the REL convention. We're excited about that, and we're happy to sit down with you and maybe answer some of the questions you've got about tax and legal and how to do this.
Yep.
How would I be able to understand if the real estate would be viable for this, or do we find a particular place already set up for such? Okay, location, location, location. How do they pick the perfect home? Aren't you covering that in your training?
We definitely are. And that is a huge part of what we're talking about because it is so important that you have to know where exactly is the right place. And then Gus, what renovations need to be done and how you need to get it suited. And you need to know what the market can bear and what other homes have. And so we break that all down for you so you know exactly what to do and you don't have any question on will this home work or not. You know it's going to work.
Covered very well, and not just explained, but they take you through their homes and show you what best practices are.
Yeah.
Okay, can yes, maybe 5 ADUs and two or more for common space. Maybe look at Robert's question if you would.
My sister there like okay, so I think Robert, you were asking about can you put a bunch of ADUs around and like kind of connect them so the seniors can be together. I want you to think of this as like a family with 4 kids, a mom and a dad. The mom needs to oversee the kids playing. So she's standing in the kitchen. She wants to be able to see all of them in the living room. If everyone's living in their own ADUs, like their own little apartments, or people ask, can I do a duplex, a triplex, a motel, a this, or that? No, do a residential home that, someone sitting in the kitchen can see all of the seniors sitting there. Everyone's, we lived in homes our whole lives. This is the difference. They could go live in a big box if they wanted their own individual, separate, isolated unit. That's not what they want here. They want a residential home that they lived in their whole life. It's not home-like, it's a home. And that's what we really stand for in this industry.
And that's the attractiveness is because they don't want to be alone. They don't want to be in their own little separate unit. There's companionship. There's camaraderie. Um, okay, can non-residents or overseas investors buy RAL homes? Oh, all the time.
Non-residents or overseers.
So if you're a
Overseas
non-US
investment.
resident, or
Oh
if
yeah.
you live in Canada or Philippines or wherever, can they invest in RAL homes?
Yeah, people do it all the time. I mean, there's hoops you have to jump through to be able to do that, but you can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If if zoning if zoning is single family residential, is it acceptable for RAL? I think
In
you addressed that.
yeah, in
But
most cities it is residential. Yep.
okay, good. If we have a partnership, do we pay separate registration fees for the course? How
Nope.
does a partnership work with you guys?
So when you sign up, and I know it's anonymous, so I don't know your name, but when you sign up for it, whoever signed up will get access to it. And if you have a business partner that you're doing it with, you can share that access with them and you guys can both log in and do that together.
But be careful with that and don't, yeah. Do you have any students who serve seniors who are blind, deaf, or have other communication difficulties?
The seniors come in with all sorts of different things that they have going on with them. Some, we've had people who've come in who are even younger that have Parkinson's and they can't live alone. We've had all sorts of different situations. So yeah, they could definitely come in and have blind or deaf or different situations. We don't discriminate on what disabilities they're dealing with at that point in life.
Great. What about multiple languages?
If you mean in the course is English only. If you mean in the home, that is a really cool niche thing that you can do within your home. If there is a strong Korean community in your area and you want all your caregivers to speak English and Korean, how cool. And that's a really fun offering that you can do.
Okay, Michelle, congratulations. We're happy to have you here. Um, any other, you know what? looks like we're done with questions, but any closing remarks, Isabelle?
You know, I always have so much fun sharing about this because it's amazing to be able to just open people's eyes to the opportunities that there still are to cash flow in real estate. There are still so many ways that you can do good and do well. And if RAL is calling to you, then go for it, because our dollar's not becoming more powerful. No one's coming to save you. So it's time for you to save yourself. And I invite you to join our mission of positively impacting people and opening these care homes. So I'm excited to work with many of you and meet you all at the National Convention. Make sure you come say hello. Dawn and I will be there. You'll see us hanging out there. So come say hi. Thanks for having me on tonight.
Isabelle, awesome. Students, if this rings a bell to you, if you've got a heart for this, and in any way, I just want to own the real estate. I just want to loan money to somebody. I, but I really have a heart for this. If you're interested at all, there's no better way to find it. Come in and kick the tires, and see if this is for you. It's cheaper than any college course that I ever took. And you know what? If you want to try it, find out. Come in. There's no better course anywhere in the nation, and there's nobody that I trust more to be able to teach you this unique, very niche way to do good and do well. I encourage you to do that. So, how do you stay in touch with beginners? Last question.
I wrote that they should come to the National Convention and come make friends with all the other beginners. If we all
There
come,
we
then it
go.
will be a whole lot of fun.
All right, everyone, thank you for being here. Isabelle, thank you so much for your time. We
Thanks,
appreciate your expertise and your wonderful energy. Thank you.
Thanks for having me. Happy early birthday. I'll see you guys in October.
We'll see you later. Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Isabelle. Bye-bye.